So that will be like introduction to performance testing and JMeter, why we should learn JMeter. Then I'll be explaining about myself, then the benefits of this course, who can enroll, right? We'll see the key highlights of the course and course contents in detail. What will be the application used for the practice in this course, right? Course date and timing. And then we'll take your inputs and queries, right? Now, okay. So, so let's have an introduction for performance testing. Session is recorded. Yeah, you will have the recorded session. So I'll explain everything. So first, let us have the introduction to performance testing JMeter. Then we'll see why to learn JMeter, and then one by one we'll talk, right, in the sequence, right? So what is performance testing? Many people are saying not able to hear me. So I'll ask them to rejoin. Like Siva, please rejoin. Then Padma Lochan, please rejoin. Whoever, let me type here. Just a second. Whoever, let me type here. Just a second. Whoever, let me type here. Just a second. Whoever not able to. Whoever, let me type here. Whoever not, please rejoin. Able to. Whoever, let me type here. Whoever not, please rejoin. Able to. Whoever, let me type here. Whoever not, please rejoin. Able right to. Whoever, let me type here. Whoever not, please rejoin. Able right to. So I'll be waiting for you guys till then. Rejoin. Okay, so till then others can hear. Yeah. So see, this performance. Yeah, we'll talk about the performance testing and JMeter, right? So in this IT industry, we have this software development, right? And then we have this software development, right? Yeah, we have this software development and software testing, right? You must have heard of. So okay. So software development is what the development of the product, and when that product gets tested, okay. So at that time, why this is not working? Just a second. Yeah. Okay, fine. So when the application, someone develops the application, they are called developer, and then it get tested, right? Testing. So that is what it comes like software testing, correct? Software testing. In software testing also phases are there, and then types of software testings are there. So that software testing has two types, generally functional and non-functional software testing, right? So what is functional testing? If you see here, this is divided types of software testing, that is functional testing and non-functional testing. Now in functional testing, we have these types of testings, okay, and non-functional has, if you see, these are there, but we have performance testing and the security testing, right? You see. So actually performance testing, this is what we are going to learn. So it's, what is this performance testing? It's a non-functional testing, correct? It's a non-functional type of testing. These are types of performance testing. Now what is difference between these two, right? So that we will understand. So see, still no voice. Others can hear me, man. I don't know what is the problem with you.
Yeah, we are able to hear.
Those people.
So can you go back to that slide? Can you go back to that slide?
Just a second.
The difference between functional and non-functional testing?
Yeah, I'll go there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so those who can't hear me, right, please do check at your end. Okay, only 4 to 5 people are able to not, they are not able to hear me. So please check at your end what is the issue. Fine. So I'll continue. Okay. So we'll go. Yeah, what is happening here? What is the query here?
Sir, the query is the functional testing, functional and non-functional testing. Um, Non-functional testing basically means that it is part of the core function of how the software works, sir? Or does it mean more like the smoke? Where does smoke testing come into play?
No, no, those are smoke testings are like uh, they are types of you can say functional. They are way of testing actually. There are different types of way of testing,
Uh
right?
huh.
So
Uh huh.
difference is so I'll
So
so
basically, yeah.
yeah. So
So the smoke
smoke
testing.
regression, sanity, all these things, right?
Uh
Basically testing is divided into functional and non-functional. Then in them these are other keywords: smoke, sanity, regression, all those things. Okay, this
huh.
applies in both functional and non-functional, but at the core level the difference is this functional and non-functional main level. Okay.
And so the non-functional basically means that how is that installation when you're not checking functionality, sir? Like you're checking functionality still, right? So if you install, you're saying that the installation would work functionally test. The installation would functionally test if the software is working or not, or performance testing or document testing would would basically involve that, right?
Yes, yes.
So then, how why is it called non-functional, sir? Even though you're checking functionality.
No, so that's what I'll be explaining. You'll be getting the
Okay.
idea.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Thank you, sir.
So see, suppose you develop a vehicle, right, a car. So when you are developing a car, right, so let us say it has been developed, and then someone is giving background noise. Yeah. So suppose you are going to test that car, right? So in functional testing of that car, what you will do, you will test that individual components of the car manually, right? Let us say whether steering is not working or working or not, like that, whatever the parameters are there, whether brake and tires are their keyword. Suppose anything, right? In anything, you will be testing it individually by functionality wise. Like let's suppose headlights are working or not, the uh, indicators are working or not, all those things. Correct. But when it comes to performance testing of that car, so you will be testing as a whole, right? As a whole, because that is what the car is meant for, right? That when I will drive it, so what is the performance? Correct. When I'll put the load, or when the 7 people, or whatever the number of seats are there, that many people will sit and drive, then what is the performance of the car in every gear, right? What is the performance? So when we test the car for what it is being made for, right? That car, what is being it's being made for, when we test it as a whole, then that is what the performance, right there, it's where the performance comes. So that is what performance testing, right? In that okay, so understanding the same concept from a simple application thing. So if you see here, this is a login page of Gmail, let us say, right? So suppose you have to do this, you have to test this. So you have to write a different test cases for all this, uh, like here putting the email ID, password, and then sign in button. So there will be many separate test cases, like uh, in which format the email it is taking, right? The input area, whether it is taking at the rate or not. If I'm not giving it any at the rate, whether it is throwing error or not, right? Password, like there should be some format. Then suppose I'm clicking on the sign in button, then whether the login is happening or not, all those things, right? Functionality wise, you'll test it individually, correct? Each component. So that is what functionality testing of any application or any part of the application, correct? In every application there are so many parts, right? Very big applications are there, so every application has a small functionality, right? Suppose this is the Gmail and this is the login page of the Gmail, so it's just one a small functionality of the Gmail. So we have to test that, right? So this is where the this is what the functionality testing. But when it comes to non-functional testing, suppose I have to do the performance testing for this, so I'll not be worrying, or we will not be worrying about all these things, whether email or whether password or whether sign is not happening or not. All these things we do not worry there. We take this as a granted that all these things are working, okay? Because performance only comes when we have to consider this performance testing as when the real user is using it, right? So a real user will not worry about this all those things. He will just put the email and password and he'll do the sign in, correct? So when he's doing the sign in, then in how much second, in how much time, right? In how much time that login is happening, correct? Then that is where it comes. Performance is very simple thing, right? Performance, okay? Performance of anything. Performance is a common word. Your performance in office, your performance in life, right? That performance, correct? As a whole, when we can suppose so many people are doing this login, then how it is the behavior, how, let us say 50,000 people are doing this login at same time, then how much time it is taking, correct? How much is the, that is what, how much time it is taking, that is called response time, right? Response time, you must have heard of responsiveness of an application, right? And how much user load, how much user load, right? How much user load in the sense, suppose 50,000 are doing this login, so whether the application can able to handle it or not. Suppose 1 lakh people are doing the login, then whether it can handle it or not, right? Suppose 50,000 users are doing the login, and the response time is within 3 seconds of that login. Then if 1 lakh people are doing the login, right? Then then how much is the response time? Is it 3 seconds, or it is more than that, or is it nothing, or application totally cannot handle this 1 lakh users? So that is what the response time and user load, correct? User load, that comes in the performance testing, getting the point? So same thing, understand, like suppose there is an order booking website is there, order booking apps are there. So when a customer places an order online, then all the parameters individually, like the getting the correct order, or the order number, order item. These things, if you test, that will be the part of functional testing. But in how much second or in how much time that order is getting placed, right? And with how much user load that whole process can handle, with how much user load the application can handle the whole process of the order booking. So that will be the performance testing. So that is where you see, so performance testing has nothing to do with the functionality, right? Means you are getting the point. That is the difference. That here we assume that functionality is working fine, and we have to just run it. We have to test it. Correct. Now, so that is why two things are there. So that's what you see here. This installation security, it's not, they are additional, they are non-functional. Why it's non-functional? Because it has nothing to do with the application. Application individually, right? Your application is working individually. Um, okay. In functional testing, we, there is a very big application and we test all the individual components one by one whether they are working. But when it comes as a whole, when it becomes as a whole component, complete component, right, complete, then we test different parameters on that, like uh, whether it can be hackable or not, how easy it is to hack the application. So that will be security testing. Correct. Then same way, uh, installing or running that component on different uh, thing, right? That will be installation testing, and many things are there. Correct. So please wait. Okay, so sorry for delay. Yeah, right. So these are the things. So that's what, where is performance it comes. Performance is also a part of non-functional testing, right? Security is there, installation, and many things are there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
one question.
learning this thing here. Yes.
Yeah, one question is there. What is the difference in installation and compatibility?
These all things you can learn from online, right? Because here I'm not going to teach you the software testing. Here the session is
Okay,
on performance testing, right? So if
okay,
you do not know the testing, so I'll suggest you to learn the basics of software testing anyhow from yourself by reading some online blogs or uh, uh, some YouTube channel. Correct. Many YouTube channel are there through, because this is not the session on software testing. This is a special session on performance testing and how we do this performance testing using a tool called JMeter. Correct. I'm not going to cover all this thing, or if this is your except your what your like if you're thinking like that, no, you are at wrong place then. Okay. if you just want to learn software testing, means what in software testing very vast, man, many keywords are there. If you are new to them, then you learn by yourself or join some other courses like software testing. Then software testing phases are there. Okay, manual automation, many things are there. What is bug, what is many keywords are there, right? So this thing, if you are not aware, so I'll suggest to learn yourself from any blog by googling Google, and nowadays you will get anything. Okay, so you learn from there, or you learn from YouTube channel. Correct? Here we are just there to learn this part of performance testing. That is a course with a tool called JMeter. Correct? So I will just cover this much. Fine. So if that's what I'll suggest, if you are not aware of the testing technical terms or many things, so read that, because that is the basic. See, when you build a house, correct, so this is a house. So this house, there is a foundation. Yeah, background, some background noise is coming, yes, because from the other people who is yeah, someone has not muted his mic. Okay, so yeah, so when this house is built, right, this is house, so we have a foundation, right? So foundation is what the basic terminologies of everything, correct? So that you have to learn from your side. Then only uh, uh, then only you can understand other thing. So that's what you can learn from your side. Here I'm just talking that what is performance testing and how it is related to the testing, correct? Other things you can read from yours, like again in security testing is also there. It's also non-functional testing. It's totally different domain. Different domain means it's totally different world. Okay, security testing. Fine. uh, like that. Okay, it's totally different world. At least these are interrelated. At some point I'll explain how these are interrelated, but this is not interrelated. Okay, people who are security tester, they have their totally different world, and their demand is nowadays also very high. Okay, but it's tough also. You have to learn coding, you have to learn many other things, correct? SQL language and so many things. You have to understand key terminologies, different JavaScript, all those things, different operating systems. But demand is more nowadays, and salary is also more. It's totally different thing, but it's also type of testing only. Okay, but it's a really highly advanced thing, and you have to know, you have to be like a developer, and then you are a tester. Okay, security tester, right? So these things are there. So that is what, where we come to the performance testing, correct? This is what the performance testing is there. So whenever there is an application, so in that application there are different activity that the user does, right? Now those doing those activity, how much time it is taking. So that is the performance, which is measured in response time. And how many user load does it supports, how many user load, means whether when 50,000 people are doing those things, so what is the effectiveness of the application, whether it is responsive, whether it is responding in that fast on, or 1 lakh people are doing those activities, so whether the same behavior is maintained or not, whether it is responsive or not, or it is not able to handle that 1 lakh user load doing those things. So that is what we test, right? uh yes, some see, initially not required. One person is asking that to learn JMeter, Java is necessary or not. So initially not required. Okay, not required. Fine. But after after 2 to 3 years of experience, correct, experience, you have to know. Fine, you have to know. Fine, you have to know. Okay, coding and other thing you have to know. So if you think that without coding you can make career in your career, it's not possible, man. You have to learn at some point. Initially not required, but after 2 to 3 years of experience you have to learn. Not the complete coding, like not the advanced coding we say, not advanced, but the basics. correct? In Java also, you must have heard of two types of Java there. Core Java is there, advanced Java is there. So at least core Java you should know. SQL language you should know, right? Like that, many other things you must know. So learning is a process here. Different as we grow, we have to learn different tools to survive in the market. Fine. Automation testing, and actually automation testing, it's a type of testing, it's a way of testing, correct? These are way of testing to do the, if I'm getting having the losses, correct? So these are what the few examples I have written. One example, let us say, I'll just cover this example number 3. So what happened, this Amazon.com, Amazon is a very old application if you see, right? So in 2013, it was down for 30 minutes. Means not, application was not working properly, the website was not. So as per their calculation, right, they were losing this much money per second in their business. So this is how loss occurs, right? Same as suppose in India, likewise these examples are there, you can read. So likewise in India, right, uh, there was a big billion day sale. So in India also Flipkart first came, right, in 2014 they came. Flipkart is what, it's kind of e-commerce website which is competitor like Amazon in India, right? So first time they came in 2014, and they also uh, they started their operation. So what they did was, in 2014, this is Flipkart application, let us say. So they started big billion day sale first time in India. What is big billion day sale? Big billion day sale means discounted sale. Okay. In other country, in USA and other countries, they call it as a Black Friday sale. In India, they have introduced a term called big billion day sale. First, Flipkart was the first who bought this term, right? Big billion days. So what happened? First time it was operating big billion day sale. Sale means, big billion day means, sale means what? Discounted, heavy discount was going on every product. So what they did was, so they were thinking like that, like only 10 lakh people will be coming on my application to buy the things, and hence they have prepared their application uh, power, you can say, right, to handle only 10 lakh people only, like that. But what happened, since they started, they have given big billion day sale, right? And they have advertised in every local newspaper and everywhere they have advertised. Okay. Now what happened, that on that day, right, in October, when this big billion day started, more than 10 lakh people visited that website because the discount was very huge. Okay, very huge. Even a good flip streamer, if you see, even a good flip streamer, I remember still. Okay, flip streamer, you see, flip streamer comes very costly. A good flip streamer was sold in rupees 1. That was a history. Okay, in rupee 1 they were selling. Rupee 1, it was called as 1 rupee sale. You can still search on Google, right? So because of that greed, means anyone will go, right? Not greed, it's a human nature. So more than expectation, more than that people came. Now when more than that happened, so what happened, more than that, more than the expected, when the traffic, right? That was a history when they started coming and started doing. Okay, in rupee 1 they were selling. Application crashed. It was called as 1 rupee sale. You can still search on Google, right? Then so because of that happened, greed, right? And hence means anyone will go, right? It didn't went, human nature. That is where the performance, so more than expectation, more than that people came. And that is where, when more than that happened, so what happened, more than testing that, performance, more than the expected, when the traffic, that was a very, that was a history. They started coming and started doing. Okay, in rupee 1 so basically it is application crash. It was called as putting the user load on the application. It was still searching on Google behavior generally in terms of response. So because of that numbers of user, and means anyone will go, right? It didn't went the human nature. That is where the, so more than expectation, more than that scalability, reliability. That is where, when more than speed is where that we see that how fast the application is in responding, right? In stability, uh, uh, In stability, what we test is that suppose the application is being used for prolonged period, right, for a longer period. So whether it is stable or not, whether its performance is degrading or whether it is good or not, right? In scalability, what we test is the same scenario that explained that if the load increases, then whether the performance is degrading or whether it is remaining same. And in reliability, we test that to here we test what that for a longer period, right? uh, Again, if we are using the application, whether it is it should be sending the correct responses, it should not be delivering the wrong responses. Okay, so these are the parameter on which we do the performance testing and we check. Then need a performance testing tool. So as you said that uh, in automation, sorry, the functional testing we do generally two ways, manual and through automation. This performance testing cannot be done manually. Okay, we need a tool, we need a automation tool, performance testing tool. Why we can't do manually performance testing, I'll explain. Let us say, suppose there is an application, right? Application means any website, anything, you understand, any software, right? So you want to test it for 10, just let us say for 1000 users, for now understand that if 1000 users are accessing, what is the response time, how is the behavior. So that is little bit realistic. You can bring 1000 people for a few time, you can hire 1000 people, you can give 1000 laptop to them, and you can be a coordinator and you can ask them, hey, I'll just say 1 2 3, and when I say 1 2 3, start browsing that application and start doing something on the application for whatever the application is designed, right? Whether it's product booking application, sorry, whether it is a food booking application, start booking some foods, right? Like that. If it is a banking application, start doing some transfer, some start depositing FD, all those things you start doing. Then I'll measure, we will measure the response time, we'll see how much response time is there when 1000 people are doing that, how is the perform. So it seems little bit realistic, right? But when thing, if it is 2000, when it is for 5000, when it is for 10,000, when it is for 20,000, can you do this like manually? No, not possible at all, right? Because performance testing is not for one person or 2%, right? Where here we test it for multiple person. Why? Because application is used for by more number of user, right? Not for one user, not by one user. Okay, more than 1000, more than 10,000 people use your application. So we have to be ready for that. So just for one user or 10 user, we do not do performance testing. If you want to do, you can do manually, but it is not uh, the performance, that is not what the performance is made for, right? Just for 10 user application are meant for more than 10,000, 10 lakhs, 1 lakh, also 50,000 apps, right? So that's why, since manually we cannot do that, so the tools comes in picture, right? Then there is two keywords you have to remember. See, so that is what a performance testing tool. Okay, so here, so what a performance testing tool does basically is a performance, since like how real user do the thing, right? So instead of real user doing that, we bring the performance testing tool, and this performance testing tool we do, using this performance testing tool, we 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 write our things in such a way that this performance testing tool simulate a real user behavior. Means they work like a real user behavior, like browsing the page, login, submit an order, all these things. And means they can do the real user action that a real user is doing, and they can generate multiple user load on the application, right? And in this way, uh, the tool sends a request in same manner as a real world user sends and receive the response from the application or from the server, right? Okay, so that is what a tool does, a performance testing tool does. Now in right, so you're getting the point, right? So instead of real user doing that, we use the performance testing tool, and this performance testing tool, using these capabilities of performance testing tool, we make this performance testing tool in such a way that they also start doing the same thing that the real user does on the application. Plus they start putting the user load, right? More number of user load, as many you want, and in the return we check the response time and other performance matrices we calculate. Correct. So instead of real user doing that, performance testing tool does those things, and in return the matrices are the response time and other matrices are measured. Okay, so that is the beauty of performance testing. Now virtual user and real user, so there is two technical one technical word. So see, the real user, when they do the things, they, do the stuff, they are called real user. But when the same thing we get it done through performance testing tool, at that time when we generate the users, right, by this tool, they are called virtual users because they are not real. They're kind of virtual, means, right? So that's why we call it a virtual user or v users short form, right? V users, right? So you'll be getting the idea later on how these v users are generated. So that is what performance testing tool does is, they do the real user behavior simulation in form of scripting, user load generation in form of v users, and getting the test statistics and results, right? When performance testing is done generally, so it can be done at any time depending on in your team how the projects goes on. So in few companies, like let us say when functional testing is completely done, when product is ready, okay, to be used by the user, at that time they will before that they will go and do the performance testing. In many other companies, right, they do parallelly with the, means, let us say there is an application, and that login module has been designed, right? So suppose one of module means what? Feature, different types of features. So let us say login feature has been developed, designed by the developer. Now tester will test it, functional tester will test it, and after that, when there will be no bug, no severe bug, then same time performance tester will also test that. So there are two ways, okay, depending on the, either at when everything is designed and the performance testing is done, that way also people do, or parallelly when every module is designed and that time also it get tested, that way also things are done, depending on different companies and different project, uh, how they proceed. Now what are the phases of performance testing, right? So phases are like scenario identification, recording, enhancement, then putting the load, execution, then getting the report and result. Okay, result analysis and reporting. Fine. After execution we'll get the result, so result analysis and report. These are the different phases. We'll explain all this, we'll understand all this in details. Now coming to the why we learn JMeter, right? So now we got the idea, you must have got the idea, right, that it's the only pure open source performance testing tool currently in the market. It is free generally, no license needed. It's very light and used tool, only 130 MB of file. It just download and use tool. Okay, required coding is required only in 20% of cases, right? I just said initially coding is not required, but in few cases you will be needing coding. We will be talking about the coding use cases as well. Then it can be integrated with many other tools like Jenkins, Maven, InfluxDB, AppDynamics, Dynatrace. Market trend for JMeter tool is increasing. Market job for JMeter 10% is also increasing. Industry is moving towards full stack QA. Okay, it's developer also, nowadays many companies are asking to for their developers also to know the JMeter so that they can test their code locally. Okay, and the capabilities, right? Capabilities of JMeter also, like JMeter has all this versatile capability, like uh, uh, testing of the web application, that is called HTTP, testing of the APIs, REST and so. Testing means what? The performance testing, load testing, correct? Then DB queries, then UI testing, SMTP, FTP servers, mobile apps. So these capabilities are there. Now this is the one survey where you can see nowadays. You see, so these tools are there in IT industry for performance testing, and you see JMeter is now widely used. Okay, and then next tool that is widely used is LoadRunner, right? So now that more people are using JMeter, more organization, you can say, more company, more jobs for performance testers are generally in India only, then in US, then in some other countries are there, right? In India also, which company generally they have performance testing project like Cognizant, TCS, Infosys, Capgemini, Accenture, like that. So these are all performance testing companies which have openings or which have these projects for. So like that 249 companies are there. These are uh, the main one, right, listed here. Now about myself, right? So myself, my full name is Vallabh Kumar, it's short form VK, and I have 7+ years of experience in JMeter, LoadRunner, Selenium, and other tool. I work in Bangalore. Okay, I have experience in projects like e-commerce, education, banking, and insurance domain. I write article author on pop metrics. Right, I'm associated with Isha Training Solution also to deliver the JMeter trainings, and currently I have trained 1,000+ peoples. Okay, then what is the so that is about myself, right? Then about benefits of this course, right? So real-time examples will be covered. You'll be getting Pro Plus training certification. Session will be carried online, right? Through this GoToMeeting only. Everyday recorded videos with lifetime access. Okay, very important. That will be given via YouTube. 3 applications project we'll see. You'll be able to crack interviews up to 2 to 3 years of experience easily. Notes, documents, all these things will be provided, right? Scripts, reports, and if you are a full paid candidates, right? So you can join any future batch also if you are unable to complete the current batch. Okay. Who can enroll, right? Anyone who wants to learn JMeter from basic to advanced, they can enroll, right? Then anyone who has basic knowledge of JMeter and wants to have in-depth knowledge on JMeter, they can also enroll. Anyone who wants to make career in performance testing, they can enroll, right? Now, key highlights of this course. So before I go, so this is what this is the JMeter, this is the ISA website, right? ISA Training Solution website, and this is where this you can see this course is listed, and all the course content you can see uh, on this page as well. Right, few things has been I'm repeating, right? Few things has been changed here. We will be updating this page. Fine. So, uh, but yeah, most of the things are there. Do not worry about that. Then I have taken so many batches, previous batches. If you want, you can refer here. Like these videos, you cannot see. These are all in private, but you see, like March batch is there. Then, like that, April batch. Okay, June 2020 batch. Like that, I have just opened few to just show you. July batch. Uh, this this is also 2021 batch in September, right? And like that, this April 2021 batch. Then yeah, this September. Then this January 2022 batch, right? Okay. Then recent was March batch, March 2022, 2000. So so many batches I have taken. Right, you see here every list is there just to show you guys who will open and show you just for information sake. Why I'm showing you this? Yeah, I'll come to all those things. Okay, why I'm showing this? Uh, so that you should have the idea, right? Who is the trainer? correct? Before investing in anything, you should do R&D, right? In any course or anything, that who is the trainer, how much knowledge he has, all these things you should do, right? Then only you should pay. And so that is what I'm giving my exposure. Then about this course, if you wish, uh, there is one page here. If you see, you can go on this page and you can read the feedbacks, okay, about my course, right? All feedbacks are there listed on this page. If you want to reach to this page, you do what? You just do Google search like Puffmetrics. Okay, Puffmetrics is a website, fine, where I write article. Uh, so this is the website Puffmetrics. So you just do Google spelling, you know, right? This is the spelling. You do Google Puffmetrics, right? Puffmetrics, uh, JMeter Core to Advanced or JMeter Basic to Advanced, like that. And you do the Google, you will get the link. This link, you read the feedbacks. Okay. Then these are the applications that will be covered. We'll be using this application as the main application. Then this application will be initially will be starting this. Then this is also there, which we will be using to use one use case, right? So these all will be the application. Mainly this application will be used to show all the use cases and to learn completely JMeter. Correct. Then coming to course content. Okay. So and then my PPT, right? So you can see here, this is my PPT using which I teach, and starting from here, if you see completely how many slides are there in this PPT. If I and here, all right. So till 235 slides, right? So this is what the notes, especially on JMeter, you can see very wide notes, right? So starting from 2 to 235 slides. So this much is a huge course content. I cannot show every pages now, but yes, okay. And this is the day-wise topic. If you see, right, this is how I will not read one by one. It will be waste. Uh, as I said, these are already listed on the website. But yeah, if you wish, like you can say day 1, day 2, day 3, everything is covered. Right, day-wise, these topics are uh, segregated, right? Okay, all this slowly. Everyone, like all, I will not be able to read. Who will read in those details? Uh, but yes, okay. So day 35, 36, like that, each component. So if you think that which, suppose any topic you think which is not covered, or which you think since I cannot read all those things, but if you want to uh, know that whether that topic is being covered on, you can visit that page and just search, right? That way, here you can see BeanShell use cases. I just said in 20% of use scenario we have to use coding. Where to use, right? Well, those real-time scenario, that also I'm covering. That is the main part. Nowhere you will get this in any JMeter course being taught by anyone. So you see how many days on BeanShell? 1, 2, 3. BeanShell is what? It's Java only. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 6 special days only on BeanShell, right? Then REST API, DB, all those things are there. Whatever word you must have heard of, regular expression, everything is listed here. I'm just not going to read, okay, because it's so lengthy, right? But yeah, they are there. Okay, so just I'll give a course over highlight. So like the real-time projects, then we'll see JMeter with respect to best practices of recording, execution, enhancement, report generation. We'll start with introduction, history. We'll understand core concept. We'll learn about HTTP in details. We'll see recording, uh, about JMeter, different files and folder, plugins installation in JMeter. Then we'll start with web application testing, and we'll take 3 scenarios and we'll discuss, right? We'll talk about correlation, parameters, regular expression extractor, different types of use cases for extracting, okay, of the values, right? Angular UI page. Yes, using Selenium WebDriver you can do. So then test data preparation, CSV, heap size, HTML report analysis, different type of testing, understanding these keywords, right? Then arguments, passing of arguments, distributed testing, master slave, InfluxDB, Jenkins, test suite preparation, okay, a scoping rule, execution precedency rule, third ways of execution, and then elements and sub elements with plugin. Total 60 plus elements are there. Okay, then these all Windows authentication, browser pop-up authentication, big billion day sale, rendover scenario, right? BeanShell as I said. Okay, so this will go. So
that sir, so right now I'm working as a Express.js developer. I mean that a mean stack developer. So in this application, like you are testing with only Java related application, or else any mean stack application also you can take
any
the
web
part.
application. Why you were mistake? Why you were learning this? Already you are on developer now.
Yes, sir. Already I developer, but here I am need to I write the code for one application. I want to test myself like performance. How can I improve the performance of an application? Again, after testing, the application will revert back to the developer to make the improve of the performance, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
So why we wait for that to go to someone and take that responsibility and again come back and improvement? If you know that how to improve the application performance, no need to go to somebody for testing, sir. So that's why I'm learning.
Hmm. What is your name?
Virendra, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Ping me once in WhatsApp. Huh? Hmm?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yes.
Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Within just note down my number. You'll find that in WhatsApp. Okay.
Yes.
729192
One second.
3030.
729.
9192 3030.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. Sir, this
Yes.
is Puneet, sir. Sir,
Yes.
actually, I'm working with the Cognizant with LR LoadRunner as a
Hmm.
tool currently
It
which
will
I'm
be easy
working.
for you.
Sorry, sir.
Means it will be easy for you to learn JMeter if you are already working on LR.
Yeah, even I have took the training for JMeter as well. Sir, this is this call which why I was joined means because of I want to even my wife want to be joined in the same background performance
Hmm.
testing. So I want to be I involved to her into the only in the JMeter. So that's why I have joined here.
Okay.
Okay, so mostly from tomorrow onwards you will be joined here. And is there any actually my question is there any helpful or any training for the load runner on the SAP tool? If you know, or if you are going to give any LR training.
No, no, I do not give any training on LR.
Okay,
SAP,
if you
I
have
think
any,
SAP GI course is there on Udemy, man. You can search.
okay,
Hmm.
okay, thank you.
Oh,
Let me try search from.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anything else? So fine. I hope all is clear, right? So please join from tomorrow. Today is day one introduction. Tomorrow also. Uh, Tomorrow will be day two, right? Like that. Season has already started. Do not think it has not started. Right? It's will do in continuation one day. Fine. So thank you all. Have a good day.